It's about people. It's not a conflict. It's the real lives of people. As we are talking, when we were here in Washington, when we were trying to further reinforce the message of ceasefire, the message of going back to the peaceful resolution, I have been receiving now messages when coming out of the meetings, messages from Armenia, from Nagorno-Karabakh, that the civilian settlements, the towns of Stepanakert, Hadrut, Martini, have again been the target of heavy shelling, missile shelling by the Azerbaijani forces. The civilians are dying. The humanitarian situation is very dire. And, this is not going to happen.
I get it. I get it, because we've been watching it. That's why we're having you on, and it's always the people, isn't it? It's not the officials who sit in their palaces and walk the halls of power. It is always the people. So I want to ask you this. You've just called Nagorno-Karabakh ethnically belonging to your people there, but the United Nations calls Armenians an occupation. That your people have a right to safety and to their own rights. Is there any way because you're very firm about what you're saying, is there any way that you and the Azerbaijanis can get together and resolve this? Because all the ceasefires that have been put in so far have just collapsed after a day or so.
Right. Now, excellent point you're making. As we're going back to 93, then there is an important point to make about that. Between 92 and 93, we had a very dangerous situation when there was a narrow strip left to the Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh, with the rest of the territory occupied by the Azerbaijani forces. The population from those territories ethnically cleansed and driven out of their territories. The subsequent developments have been such that the Armenians were capable in Nagorno-Karabakh to defend themselves, very resolute to defend their lives, and they have created a security belt, which today has been basically, a demonstration that unless there was a security belt, the Nagorno-Karabakh population might have been again facing this ethnic cleansing, as it has always been, looming over them. We are negotiating in good faith to find the way in which the right to self-determination of our compatriots in Nagorno-Karabakh will find its manifestation, its resolution. That's our commitment, and we will continue to work towards achieving this objective.
Okay, so that's your commitment. You're telling us now in full international platform and full platform across the United States. But the problem is that your Prime Minister was there in, I believe it was August, actually last year in August, and he was behaving in a very nationalistic way. He used, perhaps it's his language, but he used the Armenian name for Nagorno-Karabakh, and he repeatedly led crowds chanting unification with Armenia. Is that your policy?
Well, look, again, this is a twist we have been addressing and dealing with over the past year. A twist and a deceptive way of turning the words on their head. The Prime Minister has been talking about the role of Armenia in guaranteeing the security of our compatriots in Nagorno-Karabakh. There is no other force in this world who can do or who has been doing that. And the Prime Minister has been talking about the way in which Armenia is developing, Armenia is reforming, and he was reaffirming that Armenia will not be indifferent to the fate of its compatriots in Nagorno-Karabakh. The Prime Minister has been talking about the compromise-based peaceful resolution consistently over these 2 years, and in that speech as well. So these words are taken out of context, and there is disregard to the fundamental point that the solution is compromise-based and it is peaceful. And that is the message from Armenia that has been consistent over 2 years.
That is what people want to hear. Peaceful compromise, diplomacy, and not fighting as we see right now. So are you telling me that the official position of Armenia is not to have Nagorno-Karabakh unify with Armenia?
We are saying that the right to self-determination of the people of Nagorno-Karabakh, in which their free expression without limitations will be achieved. Now, today's situation shows that there is no way for subjugation. There is no way for domination. There is no way that we will have the risk of ethnic cleansing of our compatriots again looming over them. That the people will decide their fate and they will decide for their independence, and that has to be respected. That's the way to solve it. So far as the compromise is concerned, we have to be very clear. No concession, no maximalist approach that we have been hearing from Azerbaijan. They have to stop that.